I'm Jason Kander.
And I'm Ravi Gupta.
And this is Majority 54, the podcast that helps Americans who voted for progress convince those who didn't to join our majority. Today's episode is a special one. It is part of the Texas Tribune Festival in Austin. Initially, this was going to be in front of an audience, and there's going to be all sorts of fun. But thanks to the Delta variant, we're doing this virtually, but it's still all sorts of fun. Our guest today for this conversation is Alexander Vindman. Alexander Vindman is a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel and former Director for European Affairs for the United States National Security Council. He is a decorated combat veteran. He came to national attention in 2019 when he testified before the United States Congress regarding the Trump-Ukraine scandal. Colonel Vindman is the author of Here, Right Matters, which came out this year. Colonel Vindman, welcome to Majority 54.
Hi, Jason. Hi, Ravi. Looking forward to this conversation.
We appreciate you doing it. Ravi, why don't you get us started here?
Well, Lieutenant Colonel, or we'll call it Colonel.
You just shorten it to Colonel. That's how it works. And then, that's how it works. I told him before we started recording, he's uncomfortable with the formality, but I told him he's lucky I'm not calling him sir.
Look, how about this? How about Ravi? You could call me Alex. Jason could go ahead and stick to his roots and call me Colonel. How about that? Compromise.
I'll just be here at parade rest.
Well, Alex, before we get into what got you, some notoriety around this country recently, tell us a little bit just about your career. Like, you spent time in Iraq, and then you moved on to do embassy work. Tell us a little bit about some of the shifts in service that you've had, and just what that taught you about serving this country generally.
Sure. So I had a fantastic military career, frankly. At every point where I was pondering my options, thinking that was time to maybe see if there was something else out there for me, the Army put something else pretty awesome on my plate. I started out as an infantry officer serving in Korea. It's one of those places, it was before 9/11, before we started our global war on terror, where you could train full time. I had a real world mission defending the border against North Korea. Had company command, Ranger School, Airborne School, all that kind of stuff that an infantryman does. And then, of course, the combat tour in Iraq. And then I had a chance to become a foreign area officer, that's something that people doesn't come across in movies. I became a diplomat, a foreign service officer for the Army, and I picked up another language. I spoke Russian. I picked up Ukrainian and Defense Language Institute, went to graduate school at Harvard, lived in Ukraine and traveled throughout Eurasia, then went to Moscow for a awesome 3-year tour. It was the big leagues, it was the Bigs World Series and all that stuff, working against working to advance U.S. national security interests versus our most potent adversary. And then Pentagon, authoring the key documents that pivoted us away from global war on terror, back on great power competition, and came to the attention of the White House and joined the White House. And that was a fantastic military career. What can I say?
Let me unpack that a little for folks who don't speak the language as much, because people might think that there's anything traditional about that progression. But what they need to understand is, first of all, so you were an infantry officer in Iraq, wounded by an IED. And so Purple Heart recipient. And then what I'm curious about is, was that a factor in the decision to go the FAO, the foreign area officer route, or was that an aspiration that you had prior to that tour?
So I weighed where I could be most helpful, where I could be of most use to the Army. And I loved being an infantryman. As for those that have any affiliation with the military, infantry is where the fun is. That's where you're leading troops, you're getting dirty, you're shooting guns, you're blowing stuff up.
It's Army stuff. You're doing Army stuff.
You're doing Army stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought at one point, after coming back from my deployment, where can I do the most good? And I settled on FAO because I already had Russian language. It also kind of satisfied my aspirations for self-improvement and additional education and, moving into the strategic sphere, becoming a strategist with a regional expertise. That's why.
Also, I want people to understand, they don't just send officers to the Defense Language Institute. That's not a thing that they do all the time. Most of the folks who get sent to learn a foreign language are enlisted troops who what they're doing is focused on language. So you've got to have really crushed it. And you don't have to, this may embarrass you. You don't have to speak to this colonel, but you've got to have really crushed it in every role that you've been in for them to go, yeah, we're going to invest that money and that time in taking this native Russian speaker, right? You left the Soviet Union in 75, or you were born in 75 and then left.
79. 79.
Okay.
Was 3.5 years old.
Okay. So my wife was similar, born in 81, left in 89, and probably in a very similar way. Spoke Russian, speaks Russian, doesn't really speak Ukrainian. So they said, we're going to go get him his Ukrainian. So anyway, I just want everybody to understand that this was not just you were a guy who happened to be in this spot at this time. Like, you were an officer who was crushing it and was doing an incredibly good job and was on your way up. And I want people to understand that because, like you said, your career kept getting better and better and you kept getting opportunities. This stopped your military career.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I was very fortunate, and fortunate not just in the sense of like luck, but timing is everything, frankly, with regards to assignments. And I think I proved myself capable along the way and was given positions of increased responsibility. I mean, besides going to Russia for 3 years, which is a very trusted assignment, usually, you get pretty seasoned folks there. Was my first thing out the gate. So I proved myself deeper in my background. And then authoring the kinds of work that I was doing, those are the documents of record, how we face Russia as an adversary, how we face Russia as a power that's looking to upend the international order and harm U.S. national security interests. I got a chance to write those things based on my deep experience with Russia, and as well as my service in Moscow, and then take that to the national level. I mean, I pulled up to the NSC, which is again not a typical thing. It's especially you got guys that work in the Defense Directorate on the National Security Council because you need that kind of expertise. But usually, you don't have regional experts that serve in those capacities. Out of my public service, that's what I'm doing. In addition to, frankly, also working on a doctorate at Johns Hopkins and. In a think tank space and working on an NGO that called the Renew Democracy Initiative to try to figure out ways to harden our democracy. So it makes my heart smile to hear you guys figure out thinking about ways to bring people together. That's what I'm doing with my the next chapter of my life.
Yeah, and to continue along a little bit what Jason was talking about, you are a highly decorated soldier, and you'd think that you'd be somebody who'd be safe from attacks from the right. The people who, as you've talked about, have captured some of these symbols of patriotism. What was it like just receiving such, scathing criticism from, a huge segment of society? Like, how'd you get through that?
I'll tell you, I have a bounty of perspective. And that bounty of perspective dismisses, a lot of the stuff on social media, the kind of the inane attacks from folks. I certainly don't discount like the Tucker Carlsons, the Laura Ingrams, and so forth. That frankly, basically destroyed my career in a way because they made me toxic. But so those are harder to discount. I might hold a grudge against those folks, but the rest of the kind of the inane stuff on social media doesn't matter. To me, what matters is my family, my support structure, the tens of thousands of Americans that have reached out, in social media, thousands by mail. Those are the things that matter. And having served in combat, frankly, having lost a daughter, our first daughter. It puts things in perspective about what really matters. And it is not like, some nasty tweets or something of that nature, or some incredulous attacks by somebody that frankly I wear as a badge of honor when some knucklehead says something about me, cause I have no regard for him. But that's just perspective, I think.
Well, that's I used to say the exact same thing, and I believe that it grants that kind of perspective. But there's another side to that, right? The other side to that is that when you, speaking from experience, when you have served in combat and you know what it is to have, to face the greatest possible threat, there is sometimes, in my experience, there's work to be done to discern between any threat and the greatest possible threat, right? And I think you know what I mean, that you do have to do extra work to say, this is just social media. Because look, yeah, it's just social media, but like we hear from some of the same people, there's death threats in there. So I guess I'm just saying, like, we appreciate your continuing service, and while you have to put it in perspective, we don't, and it is a big deal.
I'll just mention that there's been an enormous amount of upheaval. I mean, it's been stressful. It's been difficult for a family life, but that perspective is what keeps me moving forward, rather than saying that there are no costs. And frankly, in a lot of ways, this is the general cross that whistleblowers have to bear anyway. I just have done it on a national stage.
Yeah. When I was thinking about this conversation today, and part of the reason I asked so many questions about your career and the end of your career at the beginning was, under very different circumstances, I left the military earlier than I anticipated. I finished my initial commitment, but I thought, actually, to me, lieutenant colonel was my career goal. And I left as a captain just because, like a lot of company grade officers, I just got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't really feel that I'm as needed here anymore. And I stepped to the side, and I've been writing about this recently. And so it's had me thinking about it. And I'm just kind of curious what your emotional, what was that emotional journey like for you the day you became a veteran and after your last day of being a soldier, taking the uniform off for the last time? That's coming to grips with that identity is an experience.
It is. My wife says I probably haven't fully dealt with it. In a lot of ways, I think you'll agree that not being subject to the rigidity of the military is a huge load off.
I shave once a week, so right on.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably something that I'm still kind of working through. I haven't settled on my next career. I have my finger in like a bunch of different pies or something like that. I don't know if that's not even a good metaphor. I'll claim that one too. Like, here it matters. But I'm trying to figure it out. But it's been a pretty good and interesting experience, meeting lots of fascinating people, having a chance to share my experiences. I'll take that's the good along with the bad.
We want to thank you for joining us, and you're the pride of our shared alma mater, SUNY Binghamton. I'm sure folks out there are really proud of everything that you've done, and keep fighting the good fight.
Thanks. I'm speaking at their homecoming, like October, like 8th or something.
Oh,
at the
nice.
Public Service School. Yeah.
Well, Hua Colonel, and thanks for your service.
Thanks.